15 Stoic Ways to Handle Women Who Disrespect You. Introduction. Imagine walking into a room and feeling the shift before you say a single word. Not because of what you're wearing, not because of money, status, or looks, but because of how you carry yourself. Your posture is steady, your movements are deliberate, your presence is calm, grounded, unshakable. People feel it, they look up, they listen. Even those who don't agree with you can't ignore you, especially women. Now imagine the opposite. You speak, but no one really hears you. You give, but it's never enough. You tolerate small acts of disrespect, telling yourself it's not a big deal, until one day you realize it has become the norm. That feeling sits heavy in the chest. It erodes confidence quietly, and over time, it teaches people exactly how little they can give you while still keeping access to your time, energy, and attention. But here's the truth. Most men are never told. Respect is not demanded. It is cultivated, and it begins with how you govern yourself. In this video on sculpted grace, you'll learn the Stoic way of reclaiming your power without aggression, without shouting, without chasing validation. You'll learn how to move through the world in such a way that disrespect simply has no place to land. Stay with me, because the difference between being overlooked and being unforgettable is not luck. It's discipline, it's boundaries, it's inner authority. Let's begin. 1. Set clear boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define how you allow others to engage with you. And most men only realize how important they are once they've already been crossed. Without boundaries, you silently communicate that anything is acceptable, that your time is flexible, that your standards are negotiable. And when people sense that, they push, not out of malice, but out of human nature. Stoicism teaches us that self-respect is not something you ask for. It is something you demonstrate through action. When you set a boundary, you're not trying to control others. You're clarifying yourself. Picture this. You're on a date, and she's constantly on her phone. You feel the irritation, but you suppress it. You tell yourself you're being understanding. But what you're really doing is training her to see you as optional. A Stoic response is calm, direct, and unemotional. I value my time. If you'd rather be on your phone, we can continue this another time. No anger, no sarcasm, just clarity. Boundaries are not ultimatums. They are statements of self-respect. Now, consider consistency. If someone repeatedly cancels plans at the last minute, don't smile and reschedule endlessly. That behavior teaches them that your time has no weight. Instead, you say, I respect my time, and I expect the same. If this isn't something you can honor, let's not continue. A man who lives by standards does not argue about them. He enforces them quietly. And here's the Stoic paradox. The people who truly value you will rise to meet your boundaries. Those who don't will remove themselves. Both outcomes serve you. Boundaries apply everywhere. Romantic relationships, work, friendships, even family. Once you establish them, something shifts. People speak to you differently. They treat your presence as something earned, not assumed. That is the beginning of authority. 2. Stop explaining yourself. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is to over-explain who you are and why you do what you do. Explanation often masquerades as communication, but more often, it is insecurity in disguise. When you constantly justify your decisions, you are subconsciously asking for permission. A Stoic man understands this. Those who know their worth do not argue for it. Imagine telling a woman you're going out with friends on Friday. She asks, why? Most men rush to explain work stress, obligations, reassurance, guilt. The Stoic response is simple. I've made plans for Friday. Nothing more. Silence does the rest. Think about it. When was the last time you over-explained yourself to someone whose respect you already had? You didn't, because authority does not need footnotes. Over-explaining dilutes presence. It turns confidence into negotiation, and negotiation signals uncertainty. Now take this deeper. You decide to change careers, start a business, pursue a demanding path. She questions it. Are you sure? Isn't that risky? This is not an attack. It's a test. If you rush to defend your decision with spreadsheets and emotional reassurance, you give away the frame. Instead, you respond calmly. This is what I've chosen. That's it. If she respects you, she'll support you. If she doesn't, she reveals herself. Stoicism teaches restraint, not just of emotion, but of words. The less you explain, the more weight your words carry. Confidence creates gravity, and gravity creates attraction. A man who stands firmly without explanation invites curiosity rather than skepticism. He signals independence, and independence commands respect. 3. Don't react emotionally. If there is one habit that destroys respect faster than anything else, it is emotional reactivity. The moment you lose control of your emotions, you surrender control of the situation. Stoicism teaches a simple but brutal truth. You are not responsible for what others say or do, but you are fully responsible for how you respond. Women, by nature, are emotionally expressive. They feel deeply. They test boundaries emotionally, often without realizing it. Not because they want chaos, but because they want to know whether the man in front of them is stable. They do not want you to match their emotional spikes. They want you to anchor them. Imagine she throws out a passive-aggressive comment. Oh, you never really listen to me, do you? Most men react instantly. They defend themselves. They argue, or they shut down completely. All three responses signal weakness. A Stoic response is calm, grounded, and intentional. You pause. You maintain eye contact. And you say evenly, what's actually bothering you? That single sentence changes the entire dynamic. It shows composure. It shows leadership. It shows that you are not shaken by emotional pressure. Another scenario, she accuses you of not replying fast enough. I guess I'm not important to you. The insecure man reacts with guilt. The angry man reacts with frustration. The Stoic man responds with clarity. I handle my responsibilities. I respond when I can. No apology for existing, no emotional bargaining. Emotional control is power. When you react, you give your emotions away. When you remain composed, you keep the frame. Women test emotionally because they are searching for safety. And nothing feels safer than a man who governs himself. When you consistently refuse to react impulsively, something remarkable happens. She begins to trust you. She sees you as steady, reliable, unmovable. And trust, real trust, is the foundation of respect. Remember this. Calm is not weakness. Calm is mastery. 4. Limit her access to you. Access is the currency most men give away without realizing its value. Your time, your attention, your energy. If someone disrespects you and still has unlimited access to you, you are rewarding behavior you claim not to tolerate. Stoicism is clear on this. What you tolerate, you teach. If she cancels plans repeatedly, and you continue engaging as if nothing happened, you are communicating that your time is optional. If she disrespects you publicly and you act unfazed afterward, you teach her that there are no consequences. Access is not a right. It is a privilege. This does not mean manipulation. It means self-respect. If she flakes without accountability, the response is simple. I value my time. I don't reschedule with people who don't respect it. Then you step back. No arguing, no chasing, no emotional speeches. Another example, she plays games with communication, responding only when it suits her. The insecure man doubles his effort. The stoic man withdraws access. You stop initiating. You stop reacting. You let silence do the work. And here's the truth most men struggle to accept. When someone realizes they no longer have unrestricted access to you, they either step up or they disappear. Both outcomes are wins. Limiting access restores balance. You stop reacting. You start leading. A high-value man protects his time like a sacred resource because it is. 5. Call out disrespect immediately. Disrespect does not disappear when ignored. It multiplies. Stoicism teaches vigilance, especially over the integrity of one's character and boundaries. The moment you allow disrespect to pass unchecked, you normalize it. It starts small. A joke, a subtle dig, a dismissive comment. Left unaddressed, it grows into contempt. Imagine you're out with her and friends, and she makes a snide remark about your work or ambitions. You feel the sting, but you laugh it off to keep the peace. That silence is not maturity. It is permission. In her mind, your lack of response confirms agreement. The Stoic response is immediate and calm. I don't appreciate comments like that. Let's keep things respectful. No anger, no humiliation, just firmness. Another example, she constantly interrupts you while you're speaking. You stop. You look at her and you say, "Let me finish. I'd like to be heard." That clarity resets the dynamic instantly. Calling out disrespect is not confrontation. It is correction. And here's an important truth. A woman who respects you will acknowledge the boundary. A woman who becomes defensive reveals her character. Stoicism is not about tolerating everything. It is about choosing what deserves your presence. Once you start addressing disrespect in real time, people adjust. Not just women, everyone, because disrespect thrives in silence, and silence is no longer your weakness. 6. Stand firm in your values. Your values are not opinions. They are the foundation of your identity. A man who abandons his values to please others slowly erases himself. And with that, all respect follows. Stoicism teaches that a man must live in alignment with his principles regardless of external pressure. If you constantly bend, compromise, or reshape yourself to avoid conflict, you may keep temporary peace, but you lose authority. And women sense this immediately. Imagine you value ambition, discipline, and long-term growth. You work late, you train consistently. You invest in your future. Then she questions it. Why do you work so much? Don't you care about spending time with me? The weak response is guilt. The Stoic response is clarity. This matters to me. I won't abandon it. That is not selfishness. That is leadership. Values also reveal themselves in smaller moments. Honesty, reliability, accountability. If someone lies, flakes, or avoids responsibility, and you excuse it, you are betraying your own standards. Stoicism demands alignment between belief and action. You say, I can't build something meaningful without honesty and consistency, and if she cannot meet that standard, you do not negotiate it down. You walk. Living by your values requires courage. You will face resistance. You will be misunderstood. But the reward is inner peace and unshakable self-respect. A man who knows what he stands for does not need approval. His presence speaks for him. 7. Master the art of silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is control. Most men fear silence because it exposes insecurity. They rush to fill pauses with explanations, defenses, and justifications. Stoicism teaches restraint, especially with words. When someone provokes you, silence forces them to sit with their own behavior. It shifts pressure off you and onto them. Imagine she says, "I guess you're not serious about this relationship." Most men panic. They defend, they plead, they explain. The Stoic response is stillness. You pause. You maintain eye contact. You say nothing. That silence is not passive. It is intentional. It communicates, "I am not rattled. I do not chase validation. I am grounded in myself." Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates respect. When you don't immediately respond, she is forced to reflect. Often, she will correct herself, clarify, backpedal. But if you constantly fill the silence, she never has to self-correct. Stoicism values speech that is deliberate and necessary. Everything else is noise. The next time you feel provoked, resist the urge to react. Pause. Breathe. Let silence do the work. It is one of the strongest tools a man can wield. 8. Be willing to walk away. This is the ultimate expression of power. The moment you are willing to walk away, you are no longer controlled by fear. Fear of loss, fear of loneliness, fear of disapproval. Stoicism teaches independence, not isolation, but self-sufficiency. If a woman knows you will stay no matter how she treats you, there is no incentive for her to change. But when she realizes you will leave if your standards are violated, everything shifts. Walking away is not dramatic. It is calm, measured, final. You say, "I've been clear about what I expect. This isn't working for me." And you leave. No yelling, no threats, no emotional chaos. Walking away is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. Sometimes distance creates clarity. She may reflect. She may change, or she may disappear. Either way, you win. A Stoic man is never trapped. He chooses, and that freedom makes him powerful. 9. Don't try to fix her. One of the most common traps men fall into is the belief that they can save, heal, or fix a woman. This instinct may come from empathy or loyalty, but it is a mistake that costs respect. Stoicism is clear on responsibility. Every individual is accountable for their own character. The moment you position yourself as a savior, you step out of alignment. You are no longer a partner. You are a caretaker. And caretakers are not respected. If a woman carries unresolved trauma, destructive habits, or emotional instability, that is her work to confront. You can support, but you cannot transform her. Imagine dating someone with a history of toxic relationships. She brings insecurity, emotional volatility, and boundary violations into your connection. You think patience will heal it. You think consistency will fix it. But change does not occur through tolerance. It occurs through self-awareness. Stoicism teaches focus inward. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to someone who disrespects me? What inside me believes this is acceptable? Often, the need to fix others is a distraction from fixing oneself. Women are deeply intuitive. If she senses you see her as a project, she will feel diminished, even if she cannot articulate why. No one wants to be managed. Respect grows when you treat her as fully responsible for her choices, not rescued, not corrected, accountable, Let her do her work. You do yours. That balance creates dignity, and dignity commands respect. 10. Keep your circle strong. Your environment shapes you more than your intentions ever will. Stoicism emphasizes association because who you spend time with influences how you think, act, and tolerate behavior. If your circle is filled with men who accept disrespect, lack discipline, and avoid responsibility, that energy will seep into your life, whether you notice it or not. Weak circles normalize weakness. They say things like, "That's just how women are. You're overthinking it. Just deal with it." Strong circles hold you accountable. They ask, "Why are you tolerating that? Does this align with your standards? Are you being honest with yourself?" Imagine telling your friends that a woman constantly undermines your goals. If they laugh it off, they are not allies. They are anchors. A Stoic understands that growth requires friction, and strong men create that friction for each other. Build a circle of men who value discipline, purpose, and integrity. Men who challenge you. Men who live by example. Seek them in demanding environments, gyms, professional spaces, skill-based communities. Iron sharpens iron, and a man surrounded by strength rises naturally. 11. Protect your energy. Your energy is finite. Every moment you waste arguing, appeasing, or chasing validation is energy stolen from your growth. Stoicism treats energy as sacred. Where you place your attention determines the quality of your life. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, they are draining your emotional and mental reserves. And if they respected you, that drain would not exist. Pay attention to patterns. If the same arguments repeat, if the same boundaries are crossed, if the same explanations are required, that is not a misunderstanding. That is a cycle. Break it. Disengage from drama. Do not argue endlessly. Do not justify your need for peace. You say, "I'm not engaging in this." And you step away. Then redirect your energy. Train your body. Sharpen your skills. Build your purpose. The more you invest in yourself, the less tolerance you have for emotional parasites. Here's the Stoic truth. When you protect your energy, disrespect has nowhere to attach. Your life becomes quieter, clearer, stronger. 12. Command respect. Do not demand it. Respect cannot be negotiated. The moment you ask for it, you reveal that it is already missing. Stoicism teaches that respect is a byproduct of conduct, not conversation. It comes from consistency, self-control, and the refusal to tolerate what violates your standards. When a man demands respect verbally, he often compensates for a lack of boundaries. He explains, he argues, he pleads to be understood. A Stoic man does none of this. He allows his actions to speak. If someone interrupts him repeatedly, he stops engaging. If someone mocks his priorities, he does not defend them. If someone crosses a line, he withdraws access. Respect grows in the presence of consequence. Imagine a man who calmly leaves when he is spoken to with contempt. No anger, no explanation. That silence teaches more than any lecture ever could. People quickly learn what behavior earns proximity and what behavior loses it. Respect follows restraint. 13. Lead by example. Leadership is not authority, it is embodiment. Stoicism rejects empty instruction and embraces lived philosophy. You do not tell people how to behave. You show them. If you expect honesty, you are honest first. If you expect discipline, you practice it daily. If you expect loyalty, you remain consistent even when it's inconvenient. Women especially respond to congruence. They notice when your words align with your actions. If you say health matters but neglect your body, your message collapses. If you say growth matters but remain stagnant, your influence disappears. A Stoic man does not chase compliance. He creates an environment others naturally adapt to. When your lifestyle reflects order, purpose, and calm strength, others adjust their behavior around you or remove themselves. Both outcomes are favorable. True leadership requires no announcement. It is felt. 14. Detach from outcomes. Attachment creates suffering. This is one of Stoicism's central teachings. The more you cling to a specific outcome, approval, validation, commitment, the more power you give away. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means grounded participation without desperation. You show up fully. You communicate clearly. You act with integrity. And then you release control. If a relationship works, you appreciate it. If it ends, you accept it. A man who fears loss behaves cautiously. A man who accepts loss moves freely. Detachment makes you steady, unreactive, difficult to manipulate. When you are no longer controlled by the need to keep someone, you begin choosing instead of tolerating. That shift changes everything. 15. Become internally complete. The most dangerous belief a man can hold is that he is incomplete without someone else. Stoicism teaches self-sufficiency, not isolation, but wholeness. When your happiness depends on another person, your power is compromised. You negotiate your standards. You accept disrespect. You abandon yourself. An internally complete man enjoys companionship, but does not require it to feel whole. His sense of worth comes from his character, his discipline, and his purpose, not from attention, not from validation. When you reach this state, relationships become additions, not necessities. And paradoxically, this makes you more attractive. People feel safe around someone who is not emotionally dependent. They respect someone who chooses them freely. Completion is quiet. It is steady. It is unshakable. Night reflection. Before you sleep tonight, ask yourself, where did I compromise my values today? Where did I act from fear instead of clarity? Where did I choose comfort over growth? Do not judge yourself. Observe. Stoicism is not perfection. It is awareness followed by correction. Each day you align more closely with your principles. You reclaim a piece of yourself. That is progress. Closing affirmation, sculpted grace. Take a slow breath. Release the need to be understood. Release the fear of being alone. Release the habit of explaining your worth. Affirm this: I move with calm strength. I honor my values without apology. I protect my peace as a priority, not a luxury. I do not chase respect. I embody it. I do not fear loss. I trust myself. I allow others to be as they are, and I choose accordingly. I remain steady under pressure. I walk away without resentment. I stand alone without loneliness. I am disciplined. I am grounded. I am whole. This is my standard. This is my path. This is sculpted grace.